Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I am Chetan Kamani. So, in this video lecture, we will discuss about various 8085 operations. But before we start discussion on that, let us just revise the concept that we have discussed in the previous lecture. That is 8085 flag registers. So, as you know that the size of the flag register is 8 bit, but out of that 8 bit only 5 bits are used for the various 8085 flags. Then the name of the flag is carry flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag, zero flag and sign flag. Whenever 8085 performs any operation such as addition operation, and if the carry is generated from the bit D7 position, then carry flag will be set. If there is no carry, then carry flag will be reset. Set means the carry flag value will be 1 and reset means carry flag value will be 0. If 8085 performs any operation and that the result of that operation contains even number of 1 bit, then parity flag will be set, otherwise it is reset. Auxiliary carry flag is exclusively related to BCD operations. So whenever 8085 performs BCD related operations and if carry is generated from bit D3 position, then auxiliary carry flag will be set, otherwise it is reset. Then zero flag. If the result of the operation is 0, then zero flag will be set, otherwise it is reset. And sign flag, just like auxiliary carry, but it is exclusively used for signed numbers. Okay, if the result of the operation is positive, then sign flag will be 0, that is reset. And if the result of the unsigned number, operation of unsigned numbers, is negative, then sign flag will be set. Okay, so these are the flags that we have discussed in the previous lecture with example. If you have not seen my previous lecture, then kindly watch it before the start of this lecture. So in this video lecture, we will see little bit introduction about the 8085 operations. Then we will see each and every categories of operations in detail. Let us start with the introduction. The microprocessor has finite set of instructions which is called instruction set. Okay, so each and every microprocessor has finite number of instructions which is called instruction set, and by the use of that instruction set, microprocessor performs various operations such as arithmetic operations, logical operations, branch operations, input output related operations, etc, etc. So the microprocessor has finite set of instructions through which it can manipulate data. It can communicate with the peripheral devices. Let us say 8085 has two instructions, that is I in and out. This instruction is used to get input from the input device, and this instruction is used to give output to the output device. Then the microprocessor is basically a programmable device which can be programmed to perform desired task on given data by writing a program by selecting instruction from the instruction set. That means, suppose if you want to perform addition operation with the use of 8085 microprocessor, then what should you have to do? You have to select certain instruction from the 8085 instruction set, and you have to arrange that instruction as per your logic, and you can perform the desired, that is addition operation, by the use of that instruction, and you can get desired output. Okay, then when a instruction let us say instruction is command to the microprocessor. So if you want to perform any kind of operation, you have to give command in, I can say, uh, in particular manner to the microprocessor, so that microprocessor can do that. Okay, so it is programmable, means you can get I can say, it is programmable means you can give certain commands as per your requirement to the microprocessor performs that. Okay, by writing a program. Program and data can be entered through keyboard and stored in memory. If you have seen my previous video lecture, in that video lecture I have shown how to write program in 80, how to enter program in 8085 trainer kit, and how that program is stored in memory. I have explained it. Okay, program and data can be entered through keyboard and stored in memory. The microprocessor reads one instruction at a time, decodes it, that is, it matches with the instruction set and executes it. It is also called fetch, decode, execute cycle. That means, suppose whenever you write a program, your program is entered or your program is available in the memory. Microprocessor is different device, memory is different device. So who executes that program? Microprocessor. And where the program is available? In memory. So microprocessor fetch that program one by one from the memory and decodes it and execute that instruction. I have explained this execution cycle during the discussion of 8085 architecture. Let us say, what does microprocessor do? Microprocessor fetch instruction from the memory, then it stores in the instruction register, and from that instruction register, that opcode is transferred to the decoding unit, where microprocessor find the meaning of the instruction, and based on meaning of the instruction, based on the meaning of the instruction, it generates certain control signal to perform certain task. That is called execution. And the result of the execution is stored in memory, or it is set, or it is given to the output device. The microprocessor can also respond to external events like reset signal or interrupt from some device. Suppose input device wants to communicate with the microprocessor. Then how does it communicate with microprocessor? It has to generate certain interrupt signal for the microprocessor, so that microprocessor can look at that device. Understand? Right? Let us say this is our microprocessor and this is our MEM input device. The microprocessor does not know where any input device is available or not. Okay, then what this input device has to do? It has to generate certain interrupt, and that interrupt goes to the microprocessor. If you have attend or seen or watch my previous lecture regarding 8085 pin diagram, then you certainly know that there are various pins for the interrupt signal. So whenever input device wants to communicate with the microprocessor, then that device, this is our microprocessor, this is our input device, right? Input device generates certain interrupt and given to the microprocessor. Okay, and based on that interrupt, microprocessor gives response for the communication to input device. Okay, so these are the functions of the microprocessor, can be classified into three categories. That is microprocessor initiated operations, internal data manipulation, and peripheral or externally initiated operations. Let us say the microprocessor fetches instruction from the memory is called microprocessor initiated operations. Whatever the microprocessor do internally is called internal data manipulation. And whenever external device gives interrupt or gives any signal to the microprocessor, all that operations are known as peripheral or externally initiated operation. We will start with the microprocessor initiated operations. The 8085 performs four primary operations such as memory read, memory write, input output read, input output write. Okay, these are the four primary operations that are performed by 8085 microprocessor. Memory read, memory write, input output read, input output write. So these operations are part of communication between the 8085 peripherals. What are these peripherals? Memory and input output device are known as peripherals. Means those are devices or those are chips that are not directly connected with, not directly integrated in the 8085 microprocessor, and it is connected via certain buses is known as peripherals. Okay, so these operations are part of communication. Means which operations? Microprocessor initiated operations are part of communication between the 8085 and peripherals. In order to perform these operations, the 8085 performs three steps. Okay, whenever 8085 initiated any memory read, memory write, input output read, input output write, it has to perform three steps. What are these three steps? Let us look at the first step, to identify the memory location. As you know that memory has various locations, okay, many locations, and out of that which location contains certain opcodes, and that opcodes is required by the 8085 microprocessor. So microprocessor has to provide exclusively address of that memory location. And as you know that 8085 supports 16-bit address size for the memory. Okay, so the memory for the memory location it has generated 16-bit address for the memory operations. And if microprocessor wants to perform IO operation, then it has to generate port address, and the size of the port address is 8-bit. Keep remember 8-bit. The size of the port address is 8-bit. Okay, so I want to ask one question that what is the address range for the memory? That is, I am writing here in hexadecimal format 00 hex to FFFF hex. And what is the address range for the IO device? It is 00 hex to FFX. Keep remember, after the generation of address, it transfers data. Suppose let us say if microprocessor fetching up code from the memory, then data transfer takes place from memory to microprocessor. If microprocessor writing certain data to the memory, then data transfer takes place from microprocessor to memory. If data is transferring from input output device, data is fetching from input output device, then data transfer takes place from input device to microprocessor. If microprocessor writing certain output to the output device, then data transfer takes place from in microprocessor to output device. Okay, and after the data transfer, it provides certain necessary control signal, such as if microprocessor performing memory read, then it loads the memory, it generates MEMR bar control signal. If microprocessor writing to the memory, then it generates MEMW bar signal. If microprocessor writing to the output device, then it generates IO write signal. And if microprocessor reading from the input device, then it generates IO R bar signal. All these control signals are active low, means whenever the signal value 0, it becomes active. Okay, then to perform this memory read, memory write, IO read or IO write operations, it has to use certain pins of the 8085 microprocessor, such as IO/M bar, read bar, write bar, and status pins S1 and S0. Let us look at the memory read operation. Microprocessor is communicating with the memory, so the IO/M bar pin goes low. It is performing read operation, so read bar goes low, and write bar goes high, and S1 goes high, S0 goes low. Likewise for the memory write, IO/M bar goes low, read bar goes high, write bar goes low, S1 goes low, S0 goes 1. Likewise for the IO read operation, microprocessor is performing microprocessor is communicating with the input output device, so IO/M bar pin goes high, read bar goes low, write bar goes high, S1 goes high, S0 goes low. For the IO write operation, IO/M bar goes high, read bar goes high, write bar goes low, S1 goes low, S0 goes high. Then, so these are the four primary operations: memory read, memory write, input output read, and input output write. Okay, let us look at the internal data manipulation. After the fetching of the data or the instruction, what does microprocessor do on the data or on that instruction? It is called internal data manipulation. So let us look at the first point. Once the data is transferred to the microprocessor, the internal architecture of the 8085 determines what and how operations can be performed with the data. Microprocessor stores that 8-bit data into any registers, or microprocessor performs arithmetic and logic operations on that data, or microprocessor checks certain conditions, or microprocessor sequence the execution of instruction, and microprocessor store data temporarily during the executions. Means what does microprocessor internally do is known as internal data manipulation. Suppose microprocessor can store data, can perform arithmetic and logic operation inside it, can check certain conditions, can sequence the execution of instruction by using program counter, or whenever any certain instructions executes, it store data temporarily in stack during the execution. We will discuss stack related operation during the 8085 instruction set. Okay, so we have discussed up to two different operations of 8085 microprocessor, that is microprocessor initiated operation and internal data manipulation. Now we will discuss peripheral or externally initiated operations. Means whatever the peripheral device starts or initiated operations, all that are operation is known as peripheral or externally initiated operations. So the external peripheral device, as I have told you earlier, memory or input output device are known as peripheral devices. The external peripheral devices can initiate the following operations by sending signal on specific pin of the microprocessor dedicated for that purpose. If you have seen my previous lecture on 8085 pin diagram, then you must know about that. You must know about this pin. Reset pin, it is used to reset the microprocessor. Interrupt pin, it is used to give interrupt to the microprocessor. Ready pin, it is used for the synchronization with the slow device. Hold pin, it is used to get control over the system bus to transfer data directly between peripheral to memory. Okay, so let us start with the reset. Before we discuss on reset pin, let us look at the 8085 pin diagram. Where is the pin diagram? Yes. Copy. I want to paste in the Microsoft whiteboard. MLP images pin diagram. Okay. So these are the pins from trap to INTA bar. It is used for interrupt. Okay. Trap RSA 7.5, 6.5, 5.5, INTR and INTA bar. This is reset in pin. This is reset out. This is hold and HLDA. This is used by the DMA. Okay, but hold pin, this signal, if you can see arrow over here, it is coming from outside, right? Outside to processor. This also ready pin. So all these pins are known as external initiated pins, or these pins are used for the external initiated operations. So reset, this operation can be initiated by making reset in signal of the low. This operation can be initiated by making reset in bar signal of the 8085 low. So if you want to reset 8085 microprocessor, then you have to give active low signal to this pin and microprocessor will be reset. Whenever the microprocessor starts resetting, what does it do? Let us look at the when reset is activated, the 8085 suspends all the internal operations and clears the program counter, that is PC 0000 hex. Clear means 0. Okay, so if anyone asks you question, what is the program counter value, or what will be the program counter content after the execution of reset pin, then it will be 0. Okay, and whenever microprocessor starts resetting, it also redirects this reset signal to other devices which is directly connected with the microprocessor by using reset out signal. So the 8085 also informs the other devices through reset out signal that it is being reset. So whatever the operations or whatever the data transfer takes place between the microprocessor and other devices during the reset time, it all goes lost. Okay, and now the program execution can again be started from the memory location 4 times 0 hex after the execution of reset. The reset key on 8085 microprocessor based kit is used to perform the reset operation. Okay, let us look at the where is reset key. Wait, okay, where is reset key images? No, not here. Okay, yeah. Mm, wait, I have images. Okay, I got to know. Practical one. Yes. Rotate left. Okay, you can see over here reset, top right corner, right? By pressing this key you can reset the microprocessor. I think all of you are getting this. The reset key on the 8085 microprocessor based kit is used to perform the reset operation. So this is the microprocessor kit. This is the snap of microprocessor kit. Rotate. Okay, this is the microprocessor. This is reset key. This is hex keyboard. The reset key on 8085 microprocessor based kit is used to perform the reset operations. Once it is pressed, the hardware circuit in a system sends reset in bar signal to the 8085, which perform system reset as above and start execution from the memory location 4 times 0 hex. I think all of you are clear about this concept, right? Then interrupt. The external device can interrupt the 8085 by sending signal on one of the interrupt pin of the 8085 microprocessor to execute group of instructions called interrupt service routine. We will discuss more about the interrupt in the 5th chapter of this course. It is 8085 interrupt. Okay, and we will also discuss about the ISR. Here you just have to know that what is interrupt. Interrupt means any external signal which is given by the external device, and what does it do? It executes group of code which is called interrupt service routine, and after the completing of the interrupt service routine it resumes normal execution. Who? Microprocessor. And who executes interrupt service routine? Microprocessor executes interrupt service routine. For example, when a key is pressed on keyboard, the keyboard circuit sends an interrupt signal to the microprocessor on one of its interrupt pin, which causes the execution of special keyboard service routine. Suppose if you are pressing capital M, okay, if you are pressing capital M on the keyboard, what happens after that? It gives certain signal to the microprocessor, and microprocessor has programs. Okay, what does this signal mean? It means capital M, so you can see on the display capital M. So whenever a key is pressed on a keyboard, the keyboard circuit sends an interrupt signal to the microprocessor on one of its interrupt pin, which causes the execution of special keyboard service routine. Keyboard service routine means a code which has information about that signal, okay, which reads the key from the keyboard port and store in memory and used by the requesting program. Suppose, let us, where is Microsoft Whiteboard? Yes. Okay. This is our keyboard, capital K, right? This key, capital K, and this is our microprocessor. Whenever you press key, signal goes to one of the interrupt pin of the microprocessor. Microprocessor does not know about the meaning of this signal is K. Then what does microprocessor do? It generate it has special program, and by the execution of the special program, or by the use of the special program, it will I can say blah blah blah. Again, whenever you press capital K on keyboard, the interrupt signal goes to microprocessor. And how does microprocessor know the meaning of this signal is K, or the meaning of this data is K? microprocessor executes special keyboard service routine, and after the execution of the special keyboard service routine, microprocessor comes to know that the meaning of the signal is K. Okay. So, and where does this special service routine is stored? It is resided in the memory. Okay, like whenever you insert a new keyboard into your computer, you can find a certain driver related information in the bottom left corner, that installing driver of the certain keyboard. Okay, what does this driver? It is nothing but a special program which is stored inside your operating system about that device. So whenever a request or whenever an interrupt comes from that device, and by the use of that software, microprocessor will get information about the signal that you have given by using that device from that software. Okay. Interrupt mechanism is used to provide such services to various hardware devices. In interrupt, request always comes from external hardware device, and microprocessor always provides service by executing appropriate interrupt service routine. Interrupt always comes from external hardware device, and microprocessor always provides service by executing appropriate service routine. If you press K, capital K, and if you want to display capital K on the screen, then what will happen? You are inserting input from the keyboard, and microprocessor will comes to know the signal, will comes to know the meaning of the signal, and after the finding of the meaning of the signal, it gives certain signal on the output device, and you can find capital K on the screen, or you can see capital K on the screen. Ready pin. The purpose of this pin is to synchronize the operation of slower device with the microprocessor. As you know that microprocessor is faster device and memory is slower device. So whenever allocate certain task to memory by the microprocessor, microprocessor has to wait for certain time, because memory is slower device, memory requires more time to complete some operations than microprocessor. Okay, so this pin is used for the wait purpose. That means it is used to synchronize with the slower device with it is used to synchronize faster device with the slower device. The purpose of this pin is to synchronize the operation of slower device with the microprocessor. When ready pin goes low, the 8085 goes into wait state and remains idle until the ready goes high. Let us example, memory is slow device and cannot respond with the speed of microprocessor. So during the memory read operation, after activating the memory device for read operation, microprocessor has to wait before memory is ready, and data it takes certain time to get data from given location. Okay, then once memory is ready to transfer data, the memory device inform 8085 by sending ready signal high. Okay, means let us say example, microprocessor wants certain data from the memory. Microprocessor gives signal to the memory for that particular data, and microprocessor has to wait for certain time, because memory is slower device, it requires some more time than the microprocessor to find data and give to the microprocessor. Okay, then memory finds data, and after it is ready to give data to the microprocessor, then it gives ready signal to the microprocessor for the for I can say for data transfer, right? The microprocessor then comes out of wait state, read the data from the data bus, and continues with the normal operation. And hold. When hold input of 8085 goes high, the 8085 completes the current cycle and leaves the control of buses in order to allow other peripheral device like DMA controller to use this. DMA means direct memory access. The DMA controller, what is DMA controller? It is a controller which is special device used to transfer data in bulk between peripheral device and memory. Generally what happens before the DMA controller, uh, input device wants to transfer data to the memory, then what happens, input device has to transfer to the microprocessor and microprocessor will transfer data to the memory. Microprocessor is generally used for processing, not for data transfer. So after the invention of DMA controller has uh, taken responsibility for data transfer direct between peripheral and peripheral to memory. Okay, so how that DMA controller transfer that data? DMA controller takes control of the bus from the microprocessor and by the use of that bus, system bus, takes data from the peripheral device and directly transfer to the memory. Okay, so this hold pin is used by the DMA controller to take control over the system bus. For example, data transfer between floppy disk or hard drive and memory and vice versa. During the data transfer by DMA, microprocessor remains idle. So this was all about the 8085 operations. If you have any questions regarding this lecture, then you can ask in the comment section. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe this channel.